Welcome to Inkstall. This video has been sponsored by Inkstall Educare, India's leading education institute. In this video, we try and compare the set of vaccinations available in the market. Before the head-on comparison, let us quickly revisit some of the basic understanding of how vaccinations work. Vaccines possess bits and pieces of bacteria or virus that has been grown in the lab. These are alive but greatly weakened or have been killed. Therefore, it's unlikely to get you sick. And when your body is exposed to the actual virus, then your immune system has already gained the immunological memory on how to fight such virus. There are three main forms of vaccines available in the market. First is DNA vaccine. As the name suggests, these vaccines contain DNA strands. DNA vaccines are easy and inexpensive to make, and they produce strong, long-term immunity. The second type is mRNA, which contains messenger single-stranded RNA molecules. mRNA vaccines make proteins in order to trigger an immune response. mRNA vaccines have several benefits compared to other types of vaccines, including shorter manufacturing times, and because they do not contain a live virus, so no risk of causing disease in the person getting vaccinated. And the third type is recombinant vector vaccines. They act as natural infections, so they are especially good at teaching the immune system how to fight germs. Now we have a basic understanding of the type of vaccines. We can now directly compare the vaccines which are available in the market. Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines will contain a piece of the genetic coding for the coronavirus's spike protein. When the lipid-wrapped mRNA enters our cells, it stimulates them to produce their own spike protein. These new spike protein will be recognized by our immune cells, which and create antibodies that latch onto them. Messenger RNA is a powerful biological tool. It's a molecule that actually instructs our cell what to make, such as proteins. Unlike traditional vaccines, you don't have to spend months upon months manually harvesting and purifying a pathogen's antigens in order to make the final product. You can simply let the instruction carrying mRNA sequence loose into the body. After that, the body cells do the heavy lifting all by themselves. For Pfizer, one of the more complex issues is the ultra-cold temperature its COVID vaccine requires for storage, about -70 degrees Celsius. That's because of the mRNA component of its specific vaccine, which could fall apart without being thoroughly frozen. Covishield, Oxford AstraZeneca. The Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine employs a more established technique called the viral vector. The vaccine uses a bioengineered version of a harmless common cold virus found in the chimpanzees to instruct human cells to make antigens. The vaccine contains a weakened version of a live virus, a different virus than the one that causes COVID-19, that has genetic material from the virus that causes COVID-19 inserted in it. So this is called a viral vector. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is based on the virus's genetic instruction for building the spike protein. But unlike the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine, which store the instruction in single-stranded RNA, the Oxford vaccine uses double-stranded DNA. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine for COVID-19 is more rugged than the mRNA vaccine from Pfizer and Moderna. DNA is not as fragile as RNA, and the adenovirus's tough protein coat helps protect the genetic material inside. As a result, the Oxford vaccine doesn't have to stay frozen. The vaccine is expected to last for at least 6 months when refrigeration is at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Covaxin is an inactivated COVID-19 vaccine candidate that will use adjuvant L-hydroxyquim2 to boost immune response and longer-lasting immunity. The SARS-CoV-2 virus strain was isolated from an asymptomatic COVID-19 patient at the National Institute of Virology, an Indian virology research institute. Covaxin has been developed by Indian biotechnology company Bharat Biotech and clinical research body Indian Council of Medical Research. So far, Covaxin has shown 96% of the people had an immune response amongst those that got the higher dose of the vaccine. Russia's Sputnik 5 has been deemed to be safe and works in a similar way to that of Oxford AstraZeneca Covishield vaccine. It can be stored at temperatures of between 2 and 8 degrees Celsius, making it easier to transport and store. Unlike other similar vaccines, the Sputnik jab uses two slightly different versions of the vaccine for the first and the second dose, given 21 days apart. So the chemical composition for both doses is slightly different. They both target the coronavirus distinctive spike but uses different vectors. The neutralized virus that carries the spike to the body, the idea is that using two different formulas boosts the immune system even more than using the same version twice and may give longer lasting. Let us understand new strain of coronavirus. Viruses mutate because they are constantly making copies of themselves in enormous numbers. To accomplish this, they have to hijack the hardware of a host cell that they infect. However, this process can be a bit sloppy. Viruses that use RNA as their genetic material like SARS-CoV-2 are particularly vulnerable to mutations, since the RNA molecule itself is more unstable than DNA. The process of copying RNA is also more prone to error. These types can be very useful for scientists because they happen at regular rate and are passed down through generation of the virus as it spreads through a community. Often scientists can use these subtle changes to trace certain strains, lineage and their spread through a population. Vaccination is good for us. The answer is all are equally good with few ifs and buts. But no country is offering their citizens the choice of vaccines. If you get a chance to get vaccinated, just go for it and get vaccinated. Thank you.